It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker for this evening. He's a colleague and friend, and today is his birthday. I promised him I wouldn't tell him. You can sing happy birthday to him later. I promised I wouldn't embarrass him that much. Joe Santana. Joe is Senior Director of Diversity for Siemens in the USA. Joe chairs the Siemens USA Councils of Sector and Division Chairs. His accomplishments are many. A few of them: the design and launch of a countrywide Siemens Diversity Strategy Development Board, the design and implementation of an objective diversity capability maturity assessment tool, the design and rollout of diversity practice guidelines and policies, as well as the execution of a long-term communication strategy that has resulted Siemens in receiving numerous top rankings from readers of women and minority-focused engineering publications. Joe is a prolific author and writer. He's published many articles. You may have read some of Joe's articles in Diversity Executive magazine. Please welcome Joe to the podium.
Actually, my birthday's tomorrow. But I will tell you, after she was listing all these different things that I did, I realized, God, I've been alive a long time, haven't I? But anyway, thank you. I'm honored to be here. I want to congratulate all of you. I think, notwithstanding, you guys deserve another round of applause for your accomplishment as top experts. I know how hard it is to do the work that you do. As Linda mentioned, I've been involved with councils for quite a while now, so I'm very familiar with the work that you do. Now, one of the things I was told is the importance of brevity in giving this type of speech. Now, I've got to tell you, Winston Churchill, I heard as a rumor, gave a speech one time that was reputed to be one of the shortest speeches in the world. He got up in front of Harrow School, right, and he looked out at the audience and he said, "Never, ever, 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 ever give up," and then he sat down. Right? Isn't that wonderful? My message essentially is the same, but unfortunately I got 2 pages and 4 minutes. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit. You know, again, I think it's really important that you enjoy the celebration, the milestone, the energy, the momentum, everything that you're getting out of this. But the message that I want to leave with you is that now is the time to keep the pedal to the metal, to really step up what you're doing, continue doing what you're doing. You know, it's interesting, but it seems to be probably somewhat in our nature to sometimes ease up a little bit when we think that we've sort of achieved something pretty big. I went to a meeting one time, and I remember it was really interesting. I was a guest. I was one of the guest speakers. And the CEO went up to the platform with the CDO in tow and essentially said, "You know, we won this great award, we're on the top of this list, this is fantastic," and then I quote, said, "We've arrived." Okay? And the CDO looked a little nervous at the comment, "We've arrived." And quite frankly, I think after they arrived, they left, because I never saw them on any one of those awards again later on. But that's not unusual. In fact, if you look at the list of people who have won various awards, you see a lot of movement. Sometimes people rise up to number 2 and number 1, and they sort of disappear. And the reason for that is, again, sometimes hitting that milestone and thinking, we've arrived. Now, in the area of diversity, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should never take your foot off the gas, as it were. First of all, whatever is amazing today will hardly draw a yawn tomorrow, right? Let that sink in a little bit. If you told someone 40 years ago what a fantastic job you were doing in hiring women and minorities into your organization, they would look at you and say, "Wow, you're so progressive." If you said that to someone today, they would look at you as if you said, "We have this incredible advantage. We have email in our company," right? It's no longer a fantastic thing, right? The bar is going up. Today, engagement is what's important. Today, being able to leverage people is what really distinguishes an organization. So the bar is going up. 2, while the bar is going up on the old topics, new topics are being added to the mix. For example, 30 years ago, you didn't hear anything about 4 generations in the workplace. 2 generations, maybe, right? Today, we have the 4 generations in the workplace, and we may possibly have 5 at some point, according to what some of the writers tell us. And then we have other topics, such as the global elements of diversity and others that I won't list, but clearly new topics. So you have old topics, bar going up, well. New topics continue to come in. And then thirdly, this is all happening within the context of competition, right? Because quite frankly, the people that are in second, third, and fourth place, their goal is not to equal the people that are in first place. It's to surpass them, right? So it's happening within the context of competition. And in order to continue to stay on top, you've got to keep moving. So here's what I think is a good story that has a moral to it that's applicable today as we celebrate. It's a story that I'm sure you've heard. It's attributed to Aesop. It's a fable about a rabbit that wanted to humiliate his turtle. So he challenged him to a race. So they both start to finish at the start line, and they take off, and soon the rabbit obviously has a lead. Looks back, the turtle isn't even in the dust. So the rabbit decides, I'm going to take a nap. I've got plenty of lead here, and the race is in the bag. We've arrived, right? And to the rabbit's surprise, when he wakes up, the turtle actually made it to the finish line first, right? So we've heard that story before. So here's the message. The message is really very simple. Never, ever, ever, ever let up. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep competing. Keep looking for better ways to extend what you've already done, sustain your advantage, and go on to future greatness. Congratulations to all of you. It's an honor to be here and talk to you today, and I hope to be able to share some ideas and learn more about your successes as the evening progresses. Thank you.